and talk a little bit more about this week's discussion forum. This week's discussion forum, online discussion forum, I focus mostly on this COVID situation that we're dealing with here, because there is this tension right now in society. And if we don't deal with that tension wisely, we have the opportunity to make really horrible and costly mistakes. Now, this tension is the tension between sort of maintaining our economy and maintaining the health and safety of our populace, right? Now, on the surface, that seems like a no-brainer. Health and safety obviously makes sense. But the thing is that the longer that the economy is sacrificed, the more health and safety of the populace is also going to be at risk. I mean, you need to be able to buy food for your family. You need to be able to put a roof over your head. You need to feel like you have a purpose in life and like you're actually doing something beyond just sitting in your house, watching the paint dry, right? So the longer that we sacrifice the economy, the more health and well-being costs we're going to face, right? But if we just let the economy run full tilt and go back to normal, that's going to have this huge impact on the spread of COVID, which is going to have this huge impact on our healthcare system's ability to actually maintain the health and wellness of our populace. So we have this tension. The longer this lasts, the greater this tension is going to be. But we need to remember, people on both sides of that argument have the same terminal values. We're looking at the overall well-being for our society. But we have these trade-offs and these tensions, and so we need to start to think very creatively. We need to start engaging in collective reasoning so that we can manage this tension wisely and make good decisions as a society. Now, you may think, when we're talking about making good decisions as a society, that's not your job. You're just a student. What do you like? What impact do you have? That attitude is BS. You are a member of this society. Even if you're just a student, you're still a member of this society. You have influence over the discussions of the people around you, of your friends, of your family. These are all parts of the electorate. If you are working in the essential services, you are a member of the work team. You have a voice in your organization. So no matter who you are, what stage of life you're at, you have a role to play. When it becomes a society issue, you are a part of society. You have a responsibility and a role to play. And so I want to start that discussion off on our discussion forums. How can we start that discussion and move us towards this more of a wiser decision, where we start to see the values that are at play, we start to see the different forms of rationality that different groups are going to be bringing to the fore, and we start thinking about how we can influence this discussion as things go on, okay? So I really want you to participate in that discussion forum. I think it's one of the more important discussion forums. Of all the classes that I teach, I think this week's forum in your class is probably the most important one, because it does sort of spur this discussion. How are we going to manage these tensions, right? I want you to be armed for those discussions and to be able to influence those discussions in the world that you operate in, right? So that being said, if you haven't done so already, get into those discussion forums for this week, and I look forward to seeing you on those discussion forums, and I will be in touch.